Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome to our third topic for the course Object-Oriented Programming 2. Our topic for this afternoon, we will be discussing about Java Netbeans update using MySQL. So this afternoon, we're going to have this short discussion about the update statement using MySQL that will be paired to the Java Netbeans. Okay, so our learning outcome for this course, first is we have to explain the importance of SQL in data manipulation. Second is demonstrate and develop a program emphasizing the process on updating the records of database. The third is internalize the importance of SQL and SQL commands in updating the records in the database. So SQL update. What is an SQL update? It is a statement that changes the data of one or more records in the table. As we all know, that talking about database, that involves table and that involves a database. A table is composed of several, one or more fields that has the capacity to hold an individual data of a particular record. So either all of the rows can be updated or subset may be chosen using the condition. So the SQL update that includes condition. So the condition is being set for you to specify what particular records or group of records that will be affected when you are going to perform an update. So that is condition. So we have here the syntax, okay, the update syntax. So here we have the keyword update, then followed by the table name, and then followed by the keyword set, meaning we have to assign particular column or field in the table, and then followed by equals, and then the value. So what does it mean is that you are going to update the record according to the specified table. Then we have to set the value of the different fields or columns to the value that is actually inputted into the object. Since we're talking about Java Netbeans and SQL, our object is the ID of a particular object that is found in our NetBeans, and the column here that is representing the field that is affected whenever we're going to perform the update. So the comma there that is separating how many fields or columns will be affected when you are going to perform the update. Okay, then followed by the condition. So where that is, you're going to specify what condition should be satisfied in order to perform the update. Okay, so the parameters are the following. So table name is the name of the table you want to update. Okay, the table name, we have to specify when we are going to perform every SQL commands, we have to specify the table name of a particular database where your data is actually being stored. Next is columns. So column 1 to up to n. So depending on how many columns do we have or how many columns we wanted to be updated, then you are going to specify that in the set keyword. Okay, the column whose value you want to update, then the value or expression you use for the new value, then the last is the condition. The condition is the where clause to specify which rows to update. This is optional if it is not provided. Then all records in the table are updated. So condition is not actually strictly that you are going to include when you are going to perform an update, but it is optional. It is optional in the sense that when you have to set the condition, you should have a specific data that will be affected when you perform an update. So in the absence of condition, everything in your records that is found in a particular table will be updated or will be affected. Next, so take note that you're going to be careful when updating the records in the table. So notice the where clause and the update statement. So the where clause specify which records that should be updated. If you want to omit the where clause, all records in the table will be updated. So that is what I'm talking about in the before, that when you are going to do the update, it is not really strictly that you are going to follow the where clause or you are going to have the condition, but it is mostly advisable if you are going to use the condition, because when we update the record in the database, we are going to update record in a selective way. We have to specify what is the specific record that we wanted to update or we wanted to change. So that is the purpose of having the condition. So example number 1. So update a single column. We will update a single column and a single row with this example. So this is an example of updating a single column in your table. So the syntax is update student set fees paid is equals 100 where student ID is equals 2. So what does it mean? Update student set fees paid equals 100 where student ID is equals to 2. So it says that it will have to update the student table. Student here is the table name. Then set is a keyword that will have to initialize what particular column that will be affected. The column there is fees paid. So this is the field that is found in your table that will be affected and will be set into 100 where we have to filter the student ID is equals to 2. So only affected record is having a student ID number 2. So in the case the student ID number 2, since student ID is considered as a primary field, then it is expected that it has only one record affected, which is the student ID number 2, and that fees paid value will be changed into 100. So that is the purpose of having update a single column in the example number 2. So this has updated the student record with a student ID of 2 and set the fees value to 100. So that is one of the example of updating the record. So we are trying to update the record in a single column. So only one column will be affected, the rest are at ease, and the affected record is only having a student ID number 2. Example number 2, update multiple columns. So this is quite opposite to the first example. So you can update multiple columns in the same table in a single update statement. Okay, so update student, the table name, set fees paid is equals 500, fees required is equals 1000, where student ID is equals to 4. So what does it mean? Only affected student or record is having a student ID number 4, and affected field will be fees paid and fees required will be changed into 100 and 1000 respectively. So that is example number 2, where we can update multiple columns in just one performing of update command. Okay, multiple meaning you can update records from 2 or more fields in a table. So depending on what particular field that you're going to specify in your query, then that will be the one to be updated. So that is example number 2. Example number 3, update using a subquery. Subquery meaning it is a query inside the query, subquery. Okay, as mentioned in syntax example earlier, you can use a subquery inside the update statement to set a value based on a query. Okay, an update, this is an example, update student set fees required is equals parenthesis select max fees required from student, where ID is equals number 5. Okay, so what does it mean? You are going to update the student table and then set the fees required into the value that is specified in the subquery. So first thing is get the result of this max fees required from student. So we have fees required filled in the student table, then we have to get the maximum value. Max here is a function that will get the maximum value. So if ever there are values that is having from 500 to 1000, so the maximum value for fees required is 1000. So we are going to have set the fees required into 1000 from student, where ID number of a student is equals 5. So only the student ID number 5 will be affected, and the fees required will be changed into 1000, which is the maximum value. So that is the meaning of example number 3. Notice that where clause is outside the bracket, meaning the condition applies to the update statement and not the select statement. Alright, so meaning update is it tries to update the record which is coming from the result of the query inside the query. Alright, so next is example number 4, subquery in the where clause. Okay, so you can also update the statement and the subquery where in the where clause. Example is update student set fees paid 4,000 where fees required is equals maximum of fees required from the student. So again, first thing that the statement will be executed is it will get the inner statement, which is select max fees required. So what is the maximum fees required from the student table will be the value of the fees paid into 400. Okay, the fees paid will be assigned to 400 where the fees required is maximum of the fees required from student. So that is the meaning of another query, which is the subquery in the where clause. So this query will find the maximum of the fees required field in all rows that match the value and update their fees paid to 400. So example number 5, no where clause specified. No where clause specified because the where clause is optional. So you can run an SQL update statement without it. So it will update every row in the table. So update every row in the table. So update student set fees required equals 100. So meaning if you have 5 records found in your student table, then those records and the fees required will be changed into 100. Okay, update student set fees required is equals 100. So this will set the fees required to 100 for every record in the table. This is most likely not what you want to do. So why? Because if you are going to have this kind of query, all of the records that is found in the table specified in your update statement will be affected. So fees required will be changed into 100. So what will happen if the fees required is assigned to a particular student based on different considerations? So all will be affected. So what will happen? The credibility of the record will be affected also. So that's all for the update. Then guys, kindly create or answer the following this activity. Create a program that will update the record of a particular person using the where clause and based on the ID number. So meaning you are going to update whatever ID number that is being placed in the ID number field, then you can change everything here and then records will be affected and that will be reflected also in the table that is found in your database using an update. So that is our activity assessment. So what is SQL queries? Okay, what is SQL queries? Next is, what is the purpose of update statement in database program? Next, what SQL statement will you use to update the record of a particular person through ID number as reference? Okay, in this particular question, you are just going to specify what statement, specifically the SQL statement that you're going to have when you need to update the record of a particular person through an ID number as reference. Next is create a simple program that will display the records of students per course, and then create a program that will update the record of an individual having a male gender. So those are our questions that you need to answer. That is based on the presentation that we had. Assignment. Have an advanced study on different SQL query statement, and then what are the different SQL statement and its function. So that will be all for the presentation, guys. God bless and stay safe. The next part of this will be the demonstration on how are we going to perform the update code in our Java Netbeans. Okay. So before, in the first part or in our module 2, we discuss and I actually demonstrate on how are we going to save or add records to our database. So we have here this code. This is the add code. So first thing is we assign the values from the objects will be assigned to a variable. So the purpose of having this is in order for us to fetch the value from the variable, and then that will be passed to the table that we created. Okay, so in here, in these lines are actually string id is equals id num.getText. So string id, this is a variable which is in a string data type, then is equals, or the assignment operator, id num here, the color green, that is referring to the object id of a particular object that is found in our frame. GetText is a function, the built-in function that is to get whatever value that we inputted from the object. Okay, so this is the getting of values from our objects. Then we have here the connection connect, and then prepared statement, which is set to null, the result set, and then we have the try catch. Okay, try. So by default we just simply get the class for name, and then the driver manager that get connection JDBC. Then this one is our database name, the root, and then the password. And then we have the statement here. Prepared statement is equals prepared statement connect the prepared statement insert into module 3 values. So the question marks here, that is representing the number of fields that is found in our database or table. Okay, so this is our design. ID number, the first name, the last name, address, gender, and then the button add. So again, how to we're going to have a short review. How are we going to change the identity of an object is we just simply right click this one, right click, then change variable name. Okay, so the ID of this object is ID num. The first name ID is fname, ID of last name is lname, ID of address is add, and then the ID of gender is gender. Okay, and then here comes our code. All right, so in here STM is our statement. Set string, we're going to assign a string that is coming from a variable, then that is paired with the index value of our field in the table. Okay, so if we're going to run this one, okay, we're going to run. Okay, so when you run, you say 23, first name, John Doe, last name is John Doe, then address is Bayawan City, then gender is male. Alright, then we are going to click this. Oh, too long, column gender. Alright, so there is a problem. Too long. I see. Maybe it was interchange. Alright, so I guess the index value that is referred to is inverted. So we're going to change, check, and 5 here, address, gender. This will be number 3, number 5, and this will be number 4. Okay, gender is actually set to 10. So in our the creation of our table, gender is length maximum is 10. So that is why we need to change this into 10. Okay, or 5. This is an index 5. This is an index 4. So let's try it again. Okay, so unknown 34, John Do 1, then Bayawan City. Alright, and mail add. Okay, so the problem before is because we set the index value this index value into 5, and then or 4, and index value is 5 here, so meaning the placement of the field and the length value that is assigned to that particular field was interchanged. That is why there is a cause of error. So I already checked that one. Since the gender is only allocated 10 letters maximum. Okay, so if we're going to have this, okay, I will show you later the records that is being added. So what we're going to do now is, since we're talking about update, so let's stop this one. Okay, let's stop this one, and then we're going to have the update design here, update. So update code. So in here, this is our button for, this is our method for the update, and what we're going to do is, first thing is we need to get this one, copy. Okay, we have to copy code, and then try. Of course, we need the catch here. Catch exception E. Okay. Exception E. Okay. Your exception. Okay. Copy this one. Then okay. So try catch. Next is we need to declare a string for our statement. String SQL is equals like this. Update. Our table is module 3. Module 3. Update module 3. Set ID num. This is our field name is equals question mark, then followed by comma. F name is equals question mark, comma again. L name, alright. L name is equals question mark, address I purposely write like this because that is the field name that is found in my database. So let's just follow the spelling, and then gender is equals question mark. Then we're going to have where. We need to filter where ID num is equals single quote, double quote, and plus sign. Then the variable as and double quote, single quote. Okay. Plus sign. As plus sign. And then semicolon. Okay. So string then in here we need to initialize string here as is equals id num dot get text, right, like this. So this line will have to get the okay, id num dot get text. This id num is an object name, and then in here we are going to have the stm is equals connect prepared statement semicolon SQL. Oh. Alright. prepare statement. Okay, then say stm that set string. We are now going to assign the value index 1 id now that get text. Okay, that get text. Alright, like this. So we're going to copy this. Okay, number 2 index, this is f name, this is cell name, this is number 3, and number 4 is address. Or add, this is add. Number 5 is gender. Right. Then let's have stm that execute update. Alright, execute update. Then we have j option pane that show message dialog. Null. Then the message of data successfully updated. Alright, successfully updated. Single. Then the catch. Okay. Try. Okay, so this is now our code for update. So let's try. Okay. If so last time we add 23, then we're going to have in this John door, we will make it door by a 1 city and mail, and then update. Okay, data successfully updated. Well, the problem here is we're not really certain if that data, that record was actually the one that is being updated. So what we're going to do is we're going to search that first, and then we are going to view whether the record has been updated. Okay, so we're going to have this stop. Then we're going to let's go back to the design. Okay, let's have the search button here. The one that is being demonstrated just the very first time, is we are creating, the code inside the method, which is method of a particular object, which is the update. So this time I'm going to show you we are going to create a sub method that is intended for the search. So you will say public void show, right? It's public void show. Then in here we're going to place our code for search. Okay. Then again, we just simply copy this one. Okay. Copy and show. Okay. Try catch. Then we have catch here. Exception E. Okay. Exception E. Try catch. Okay. So we're done with the connection. Then next is we're going to have a string example search is equals double quotation. Okay. Select asterisk from module 3 where field name id num is equals single quote double quote, then the object name id num dot get text, right? Then plus sign double quote single quote double quote. All right, so we have already our query. Then we'll say stm is equals con that prepare statement and the object search. By the way, search here is only a string variable, which is connect. This is connect. So it is not particular with the spelling. Maybe you will be confused that search here has no A, but then as I've said, that is only an identity of a string that is trying to hold the query statement here. So search, it is not necessary that you're going to have correct spelling. For as long as what is the object that is being specified here, that would also be the object that you're going to call in your prepared statement. All right. So next is you'll say rs is equals stm data execute query. Okay. Again, this is search. So we have to execute the query, which is select asterisk from module 3 where ID num is equals the object name, which is the ID number. Okay. Next is you will evaluate if rs.next. So if that is true, when it proceeds to the finding of the values, then you'll say string fname is equals rs dot get string, then the field name fname fname, then semicolon. Okay, so this particular line of code will be assigning the value of the field that is coming from our table will be passed to the variable. Then after that passing to the variable, the next step is you will get the value of the variable and then display that to your object, actual object that is found in your NetBeans. Okay, since we could not see the value unless and until it will be displayed to the object that is found in our Java NetBeans. So in this case, our fname is assigned to an fname object, fname that set text, then that is coming from the fname. Right, that's it. So this is a string data type. Fname is the object name of the string. Then this is fname, that is the field that is found in our table. Get string is a function that will get the value of the field, then that will be passed to the string, and then in order for you to see the objects or the values to your object fname, then you're going to set text coming from fname. Right, so just simply copy and paste this one. Okay, and gen, this is gen from gender, right? Then this is also gender. Okay, gen. So lname, this is lname. Okay, fname, lname. Alright, so after that, try catch j option in j option that show message dialog null, then record or null e. So else J option pane record not found. Okay, J option pane if rs so try so this one is for if okay, that's it. And J option pane else okay. Oh, what happened? J option pane okay. So let's gonna try this. Run. Oh, sorry. So this time we are going to have this show in our design search. So we're going to have show here, then we're going to call the function show. So this code will have to redirect to the public void show here, which is to display the value in our object. So where is our object? Okay, that means run. Where is our interface? Okay, okay, where are you? Okay, so it's already running, but there is a problem. Is this the one? Hey, where are you now? Project. New JFrame. My goodness. Saan ka? Search. Jeffrey. Project. Gender. Sakto ron. Okay, so let's try to run this. Uh, First thing that we're going to do is we will be searching the record that is actually stored in our database. Then just click this search. So John Doer 23 Bayawan City male. So see John Doer 23, we are going to update this record into a female, and this becomes Jana Doer 23. Then we will click update. Remember that the ID number is still 23. Then we change from Jan into Jana, and then female and gender. So let's update this record. So example, we will clear. Okay, and then search this record again. So it was already changed into another record. All right, so let's have 233. Then click that record. File is already saved. Then when we are going to search this one, okay, to 21, or let's search 21. Let's search 21 record. Then there is no record found. Let's type 23. Then we have already Joanna 23, which was changed into female. So this female, we are going to update this again into male. We'll change that into male, and then instead of Joanna, that is let's take back to John Doer 23, and then update. So data updated. Then let's add 234. Then let's make this 234 also. Then let's make it Joanna, Jana, and then make it female. Then click add. So it is already added to the database. So let's delete this one, and then click search. So it's already Jana Doer 234 Bayawan City, and then it was already a female. So what we're going to do now is what are the added records will be viewed in this table using the view record button. So whatever the added record in the database will be reflected in our table. So that is what we're going to do next time. And okay, so let's close this one. Then we will do the coding for showing the record to the table. The table name here is table rec. So what we're going to have is when we click this button, it will display the records, the added records from the database in the table. So just simply double click this view record. Okay, we will double click this view record. So where is it? View record. So in here, we're going to put the code here. Okay. So let's say view record, then say try, then catch, exception key, then we're going to have the J option pane, that show message, show message, show message dialog, then say null, comma e. Okay, then semicolon. J option pane, the show message dialog. So you have to be very careful with the spelling, especially on the functions or the methods that you're calling. So in case that there might be a problem, there will be underline. So just simply check the spelling because something wrong with the spelling. Okay. So next is again we're going to call this one because we're using the same table and the same database. So just simply copy and paste that one. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have the query itself. So string a is equals our query select asterisk from module 3 order by id num, ASC. Okay. Then semicolon. Then we say stm is equals connect dot prepared statement, prepare statement. What is the object? That is a string a, that is the query, connect or con. Okay, then you say rs is equals stm dot execute query, What is to be executed is the query that is placed or initialized in the variable a. Okay, then you're going to call the table rec table id that set model db utils that result set to table model. Then what is your table model? Model is your record set. semicolon, then alright, table rec that dbutils. So we're going to, hey, what's this? In our import the spelling of dbutil is small letter b, dbutil dot result. Oh, the spelling has a problem. Result and result set. Okay. Okay. Set model. Set model. Okay. So in this case, this function actually will have to display whatever value that is the result. Whatever the result of your query from here will be passed to the table rec using the dbutils model, which is coming from the result set query. So the very query that you are going to consider is what you're going to fetch from the record inside the table module 3. So select asterisk. Asterisk here is signifying all record from module 3 order by id num ascending. So order by id number ascending, meaning from the from smallest to biggest value, that is ascending. Descending is from the biggest value up to the smallest value. All right, so let's try. Okay, let's run this program. All right, so let's have view record. All right, so these are now the records, all of the records that are found in our table, which is actually reflected in our actual table in our NetBeans. So here, these are the records that are stored in our database. Okay, so let's say, for example, if we're going to run the program, let's add another record, 56, sample database, address is Santa Catalina, and then this is a female. Okay, so this is female, then click add. Then when we click add, it's already added to the record. Then we will have example 561. So we already added 56 and 561, the same record. Add. Okay, so when you view the record, we have 56 here, we have 561. So maybe we are going to triangulate. We're going to check whether the actual value that is found in our SQL or phpMyAdmin is actually there. So we click the browse. So 56, 561, and that is also exactly the same on the record that is added to our database. So let's say, for example, we are going to update the record of 56. Okay, let's search this 56, then search. Okay, so we have here sample. This is the one. So sample. This we will be having example First name is Katrina. Okay. Last name is Halil. And the address is Sampaloc, Manila. Alright, then she is female. And we will click update. Okay, the record has been updated. So from sample database, then that will be Katrina Halili. Alright, so 56, Katrina Halili, Sampaloc, Manila, and the Philippines, or female, the gender. So that is how we are going to update our record. Okay, so updating the record, that is actually depending on the query that you specify in our um, query. Let's say for example, so when you are going to update, okay, update, as I've said, updating the record with or without the condition, that depends on us, depends on how we're going to apply that in our program. But it is advised also that you are going to filter the records that you wanted to update, because when we update the record in the database, it is advisable that we're going to pinpoint what particular record that we are going to change and what record that we are not going to change, especially if that is a vital record. Okay, so I guess everything is quite clear, and I hope that you understand the process of searching and updating. Anyway, our focus for this tutorial is actually just to update the record. So how to update the record is we just simply having this update table name set, then what are you going to change. You have to specify that in your query, of course. So this is our code. Anyway, I will be providing with you the code of having an update and searching the value, okay, for you to follow and to use as reference. So that would be all for this afternoon, guys. I guess, okay, I guess everything is quite clear. I will attach file, especially the codings in our demonstration, so that you will be guided and you have the reference on how are you going to develop a program from update, adding, up to searching the data using the NetBeans and then the MySQL in the PHP MyAdmin. So thank you very much for watching. God bless us all and stay safe, everyone.